So this is a video for anyone who's thinking about getting a cat. You know, I've heard a lot of people say that getting a cat is easier than having a dog, and that can't be further from the truth. It really can't. You know, all you gotta do is put a litter box and feed them, and they're fine. That's not true. that is not true. Every night I have to deflate the cat balloon, if you will. So he's taking a snooze right now, but in about an hour, you know, I'm gonna have to play with him for half hour or so and get him panting, get him tired. Otherwise, he'll keep me up all night. And you know, from a young age. See, this is the thing. I don't know if I'm not like experimenting with his life, but so let me explain. I wanted the cat, but I did not want a cat that was afraid of everybody, that would just run and hide, was antisocial, didn't like to be picked up, was a grease ball, you know, that you pick him up and you're covered in fur. You know what I mean? I didn't want a cat like that. So if he was a cat that was hiding, I would block all the hiding spots and force him out. But luckily, I didn't have that issue with him. Duke loves everyone. You could be a complete stranger, and if you look interesting to him or you sound friendly, he will run up to you and rub all over you and want to know who you are. He loves everyone. And actually, tonight he went, which I'll explain, he went to the corner store. He went to the corner store and was making friends. But basically, from the beginning, I got him at like 5 weeks old for the grease ball part, right? I gave him a bath every other week. And, you know, I gave him a bath in the kitchen sink because it's not too big, it's not too scary, right? The tub is way too big and too scary. So, kitchen sink, I did it every other week. And he, you know, he started getting used to it. And as soon as he started getting used to it, I dialed it back to every 3 weeks. And that's where we've been for a little while. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you bath time. It is getting cold out, but I did notice a bit of flea evidence, just a tiny bit. But it's bath time anyways. So I got the water warm. Maybe too warm. Gotta take anything away that they can grab. Sometimes he does better than other times. Usually he just likes to do that. So I just let him grab that thing. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah, whatever makes him comfortable, right? That's a good boy. Definitely make sure that the water is like warm. Cats like warm, but not too hot. Oh, that might be a touch too hot. good scratchy. Oh yeah, you like to scratch. Good scratchy, get the belly. Now we gotta rinse you down. That's a good boy. See, he doesn't fight me too much. As long as his paws are up on something, he's good. He might start to meow a little bit, but... Hey, put your paws up on there. There you go. Come up on there. There you go. Good boy. That's a good kitty. That's a good kitty. Yeah, when I got him, he was infested with fleas. Absolutely infested. It took me weeks to get rid of them. And it's been getting really, really cold outside, so I figured, I didn't need to put a flea collar on him, but I found a tiny bit of evidence of flea. Not a lot, just a touch. So I just want to make sure we don't have to start that process all over again. Huh, buddy? Yeah, because you were miserable. This cat was miserable with all those fleas, huh? And that's it. Now I'll just give him a wring out and dry him off. So I've been easing him into this. This is rather new, the blow dryer. He's not a fan of this, but we are going to bed in like a couple hours. I'm not gonna go, I don't go all the way. I just try to speed the process up a little. Maybe get some of the bulk of it. I do it on warm, not hot. That's a good boy. You're getting used to it, huh? That's a good boy. He's doing pretty good. I've done everything I can do, I think, to keep him social. You know what I mean? But I want him to see other people and have a life. And I only have one cat, so his only source of entertainment is me and his toys. Which toys he gets bored of. So I have to, every night we play for a little bit. And I got him a GPS collar, which was probably the best thing I ever did. But I had to ease into it. You can't just slap a GPS collar on your cat and open the door. I think that's a horrible idea. That's probably the worst thing you could do. So I started off with, here it is, right here. It's like one of these retractable dog leashes. And a full body harness. And every day after work, it was like routine, especially when it was nice out. We'd put the harness on and we'd go outside. You know what I mean? I'd let him kind of just run around and get used to being outside. And then I would bring him closer to the front of the house and see how he reacted around cars. You know what I mean? Did they scare him and he'd jet out in front of the street? Did he try to run away? Like, what was his thing? So I noticed when cars were coming down the road, he was totally aware of them and started to back away from the street, which was good. So after I got a little bit more comfortable with the leash, then I decided to try the GPS collar, and the first time is always, the scariest. But I feel like I've done everything that I can do. I brought him, got him fixed. He's got his shots. He's got a microchip, that's all tied to me. He's got a collar on that has a reflective thing so cars can see him if it gets dark out. He's got his name, my phone number on it. And he's got the GPS collar. And the GPS collar's been working out really good. In the beginning, especially when he was a little bit smaller, he stayed within the yard. He did not leave the yard. And he would come up every half an hour. He would go out and he would come back up, check on me every half an hour and go back out and come back up and go back out and come back up and go back out. But now I'm starting to notice he's getting a little bit older. He's not coming up as often. So he'll go out for like an hour and a half and come back up. And then he'll go out for another hour and a half, So he'll be out for 3-4 hours sometimes. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh crap, it's dark out. I don't want him outside because of coyotes and other things, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, it's time to go get him. I grab my phone. I'm like, oh, he's at the corner store. What in the hell is he doing at the corner store? So I walk down to the corner store. I see a bunch of people like, oh, the kitty, they're all petting him. And I'm like, Duke. I called him. And as soon as he heard my voice, he spun around and came right towards me. And I was like, come on, let's go. And he followed me from the corner store to the house and came right up the stairs with me. I didn't have to fight him. I didn't have to chase him. I didn't have to coax him. He came right inside. And every time he does, he gets a nice treat. So it's exciting for him, So I don't let him outside when I'm not home. I let him outside when I'm home. So other than that, he's inside. He's like a mostly indoor cat, but goes outside. And it's like one of those things, because I hear so many stories from people like, oh, well, somebody's going to steal him. He could get hit by a car. A coyote could eat him. Yeah, I get all of that. But, you could get in a car accident tomorrow and die. Are you just not going to drive your car? No. I want him to have a life, And I don't know. So far, so good. And I would be devastated if something happened to him, but, at the same time, I don't want him to be one of those fat, lazy, depressed, greasy, gross, anti-social cats that you can't pick up, you know what I mean? I could have a complete stranger over my house, and that cat will love you from the second he sees you, and that's kind of what I wanted. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you're thinking that a cat is easier than a dog, that is not true. Not true in the slightest. I mean, maybe you have to let them outside less. That would be about it. They still demand your attention 24/7. Duke will let me know. He lets me know, and he wakes me up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock every single morning because he wants to eat, So, I mean, don't get a cat for the wrong reasons. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Do your homework, and do your homework on the breed. And the breed that I got was supposed to be an easy one. You know what I mean? This was supposed to be a breed that was good for elderly people. He's half tabby short hair and half North European short hair. Tabbies are supposed to be very clean, and very good for elderly. I I don't see Duke being good for elderly people. I don't. I mean, I don't know, maybe when he gets older and he calms down a little bit, maybe, but not right now. Because he's a wrecking ball sometimes when he's got too much pent up energy, or he's angry or hangry. You know, he gets hangry a lot. So speaking of cat toys, you know, I've got all these battery operated ones that I put lithium ion batteries in, so that one lasts for like 2 weeks. That one's rechargeable, and they both sense the cat nearby. If he like bumps into it, it'll turn on during the day when I'm not home. You know, he's got this thing, and he's got little mice everywhere, and this little string toy on the door. He's got a bunch of these things all over the place. One there, one there. There's one there. There's another one somewhere. Oh yeah, it's in here. Another scratching post. It's got a cat tree, which we're doing some construction right now, so this room's kind of a mess. But he gets bored, like cats get naturally bored of toys. So there's one toy that I don't let him have. I keep it on top of the fridge. It's got several different attachments for it. Whenever he sees me go for this, yeah, you see? He knows. So cats are very routine animals, and it's time, 6 o'clock. Duke wants to pop the balloon or deflate. See, watch this, ready? Turn back on. But we'll do this for like a half an hour or so. I'll make him climb the bed and come in here. Climb up the cat tree, and then jump down. Come in here. Make him run around. And we'll do this for like a half hour or so until I notice he's panting like a dog, like going. And then I'll stop. But I always take this toy away so he never gets bored of it, you know what I mean? I always hide it once we're done. Ah! There it is. So this is another cat toy he has. I thought it was a cool idea. You know, the rope on this ball that just kind of goes all over the place, makes bird sounds. Comes with 2 different ropes. One of the ropes I'll soak it in the Meowie Joanna catnip. The problem is if you don't remember to shut all of these off manually before you go to sleep, they have a tendency to turn on at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning when you're in your deepest sleep, and it reactivates Duke, and he comes out here and it's like, oh my god, are you serious? Yeah, so don't forget to shut off your cat toys. Alright guys, here's the advantage of the GPS collar. It's a beautiful thing. Goodbye, Duke. See you in a couple hours. And here is the beautiful part about the cat GPS. It got dark out. I think it's time for Duke to come in. I'm looking at my app. It looks like he is in my neighbor's backyard. So we're gonna go see if we can find him and bring him in. Oh, he's on the move. Dukey boy! Kitty! Here he comes. Kitty! Come on! That's a good boy. Come on! Come on! That's a good boy! Come on, let's go inside. Come on! And just like that, Kitty's back inside. So sometimes he'll literally just follow me right up the stairs, and sometimes he's like, wait, give me a minute, and he'll zip around, run around for a second, and then he'll come flying up the stairs like 2 minutes later, because he knows a treat's coming. So Just gave him a treat. And Kitty's inside. Alright, so now I'm heating up my dinner. It's time for a snack, Duke, huh? You want a snack? Which one you want? You want this one? This one? Okay. Come on. And Duke gets his little snack. Oh, you want a snack? You want your snacky? Here you go, buddy. That's a good boy. This drawer literally weighs like 400 pounds. There's a lot of cat food in here. This is all the expensive, like, human grade stuff. Meow Me a River. This is his favorite right here. Mediterranean Harvest. But I try to mix it up a little bit. I try to sneak some chicken in here and there. So you know, fish isn't good every day. And then there's certain Friskies stuff. Very certain. You know, I'll leave some of this out in the other bowl and some dry food. And if he gets desperate enough, he'll, you know, pick at it. But he prefers the human grade stuff. And check this out. I'm eating, you know, having dinner. Duke still wants to play, but he knows not to bug me when I'm eating. So he always just stares at me and waits till I'm done. And then he bugs me. And also, cats have boundaries much more than dogs do. So there's certain times a day where I can pick him up and he'll just love on me for a while. But right now is not that time. So you need to know your cat. I mean, I could pick him up right now and he won't claw me or scratch me or anything like that. You know what I mean? But he definitely does not want to be held right now, but watch. I'm gonna try to pick him up. Come here, Duke. But see? He doesn't claw me. And that's what I want. This is the kind of mood he's in right now. He wants to play. He's a good kitty, huh? He never bites or scratches you hard, he just plays. He cuts me a few times here and there. He's getting better. When he was younger, he'd cut me all the time. But now, not so much. He doesn't make me bleed as often. It's always soft. See? Very soft. Even though he looks evil. Evil. I mean, I think the biggest thing you gotta learn is that if you get a cat, it's no longer your place. You know what I mean? It's their place too. They think they own it more than you do. So you gotta make it work for the both of you. You gotta let him drag his kill off too, and then I go and take it from him. And this is the shower routine for the night. He's always gotta see what's going on. When he was a kitten, he by accident fell in the tub one time, and he was like a blender going off. Just scratching and clawing. I was dancing naked in the tub, you know? It's pretty horrible. But yeah, this is what we do every day. So I've had Duke panting twice already. Yeah, and you can see he's still got the zoomies. And it's about 8 o'clock at night. And I'd love to be, you know, in bed somewhere around 9 o'clock. Because I have to be up and out of here at 5 a.m. So I'm just going to leave the light on for a second. So you guys can see. This is phase 2. Getting Duke. Every single night. Off the bed, on the bed, back off the bed, on the bed, that way, this way. You getting tired, buddy? Stinky boy getting tired? Ready for the kitty suplex? It's the kitty suplex. So the morning routine looks something like this. I've been trying for like 3 days, but it's very difficult to grab the camera at 3:30 a.m. You know, basically in the morning, you know, his bed is up there. He'll jump down onto me at 3:30 a.m. and lay on my chest. And, you know, I'll scratch him for a bit. I can kind of do that half asleep. But he knows from like around 3:30 forward, at some point, you know, my alarm is going to go off. So after I'm done scratching him, he'll kind of get off and cuddle up next to me, and he just waits. He waits, and he knows the alarm sound. It's like birds chirping in a waterfall, basically, right? And as soon as he hears that, he's up and out of the room. And he steers me. He like meows and looks up at me and steers me right over to the food bowl. And sometimes he even blocks the doorway because he knows I go to the bathroom first. And he wants to be fed. And that's pretty much, you know, every single morning. And if I am, and here's the thing, on the weekends, if my alarm does not go off at 5, because it's not set, his clock never changes. He wants to be fed by 5 a.m. every single morning. So, cats are a routine, and they have a little clock inside of their head that is exact. It is so crazy how perfect it is, but you'll notice that your cat will wake you up around the same time every single morning, and it's within 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like 10 minutes before 5, 10 minutes after 5, or right at 5 o'clock on the dot. But they have like an internal clock like that's crazy. So here's something else with cats, right? You gotta clip their front nails, especially every once in a while, if you don't want them completely shredding your furniture. You know what I mean? And splitting you wide open all the time. So this is kind of tricky, you know. The back nails seem to stay pretty good. I mean, clip them once in a while, but it's the front ones. So I try to clip them somewhat regularly. I mean, I do send them outside, so I don't want them to be out there with, you know, with no weapons, I guess. But at the same time, I don't want his claws getting so sharp that he is just, yeah, digging into stuff. And it's tricky because obviously if I wait until he's zipping around the house and he wants to play and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna clip your nails. No, you're not. Because he's gonna split you wide open. So what I do is I wait until it's snooze time, which is right around now. Between 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He usually, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he takes a snooze for an hour, hour and a half, and then around 6 o'clock, it's obviously his playtime, right? So he's over here. Yeah, you can see he's in snooze mode. So this is when I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna do it right now when he's tired. We'll see how it goes. He really doesn't like this. He hasn't got used to this yet. But this is what you gotta do. This is part of the process, man. That's a good kitty. Hey. Give me that thumb. Good boy. Yeah, it's a good boy. One more. You're all done. Good boy. Good boy. See, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, gotta be smart about it. What did you leave me? Did you leave me some presents today? Ooh, look. Buried treasure. Do you mind? So I don't want this to come off as I'm trying to convince people not to get a cat, because that's not my intention. You know, I think it's a good idea, honestly. If you're looking to get a cat, I think it's a good idea. You know, I think it brings your blood pressure down. It's they make you laugh, man. Cats are funny animals. They do some really funny stuff. Like, you just won't expect it, and they'll do something that's so stupid or crazy, and you just be cracking up for hours. But it's not hard. You know what I mean? It's like 1 minute in the morning I have to feed them. 1 minute in the afternoon I have to feed them. 2 minutes once a day I have to clean the litter box. Not a big deal. You know, and then I play with them for half an hour around 6 o'clock at night, and then I play with them for another half an hour, 45 minutes right before bed. And that's it. And give him a bath once in a while, clip his nails. But it's not like a lot of time. And obviously if you have a bigger family, you know, and you have kids running around and stuff like that, like, every situation is different. I'm just giving a perspective from somebody who is living alone and has a cat. So, like, an elderly person that's thinking about getting a cat, well, this is probably what you should expect. Worst case scenario. You know, who knows? You might get an abused cat that just hides under the bed, doesn't scratch anything, doesn't do anything. That's a possibility. But at least know what could happen, you know, before you get a cat. So I want to go over cost. How much does a cat cost these days? Because I think this is important for people to understand before they get into it. And the reason I'm showing, like, my routine with my cat, and the whole purpose for this video, is because when I was getting him fixed, I was at the shelter and I saw all the cats that were there, and it's really sad to see, you know. And I'm asking the lady, I'm like, you know, where do all these cats come from? And she's like, well, you know, some people get them and, you know, they have them for a while and they can't afford it, or something happens, the economy crashes, you know, it could be anything, you know what I mean? The family splits, or they got it for the kid and the kid's not taking care of it and the parents want nothing to do with it, or just whatever, you know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to show, like, yeah, this is what I do on the daily, every single day. You know, if any of this bothers you, the cat may be coming into the bathroom, watching you shower, or, you know, having to play with them. So last night, just real quick, you know, stuff happens, life happens, right? I forgot the 6 o'clock, you know, pre-play session, you know what I mean? So I went to bed and I was playing with him in there. And he had a bunch of pent-up energy, and he sliced me up pretty good last night. Yeah. And I just made it bleed again. So, you know what I mean? And if you don't, you know, the cat will make your life a living hell. You know what I mean? And then yelling at them, screaming at them, it's not going to do anything. You know what I mean? So, cats don't understand that. When they scratch your couch, they don't understand not to do that. You know what I mean? You have to put scratching posts near the couch, cover the couch until you got some sort of routine down where the cat knows where to scratch. You know, if they go on the counter, you need to not yell at them, but maybe put something up there that they don't like sticky tape, or you can get those little air cans that's like, and it sprays air at them and scares them. But it has to be an environment change, not you screaming at them, because that does absolutely nothing. But yeah, cost-wise, and actually there's a kid at work that he's talking about getting a cat now, and I'm like, dude, no, don't get a cat. I'm like, do you realize how much that costs these days? And he's always crying poverty, and I'm like, they cost quite a bit. And he's like, no, cheap. They're cheap. I just give it table scraps. I'm like, dude, you eat spicy food. You can't just give it table scraps. That's insane. And there's human foods that cats can't have because it will kill them. Do you know what those foods are? No. You know what I mean? So, I would just, do your homework before you get a cat. But from what I'm seeing, this is just my experience. The cheapest canned wet food that I can find is that Friskies stuff. It's like $24, and you get enough for a month. But it's cheap garbage food, you know what I mean? But if I think it's better to give a cat cheap garbage food and trash litter versus bringing it to the shelter. I think if you're happy with the cat's happy in the house, and it's a money thing, just give it cheap stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, the cheapest, if you got the cheapest food and the cheapest litter, you're looking at somewhere between $60 and $80 a month. that's bare essentials. That's food and litter, and that's it. $60 to $80 a month. I spend somewhere between $120 and $140 a month on Duke. And there's an upfront cost as well, you know what I mean? So in the first 6 months, I probably spent about $2,000 on Duke. But I did go a little crazy, you know what I mean? I got like everything that I could possibly need to make my life easier and his life easier, you know what I mean? So maybe you don't have to go that crazy, but yeah, I spent about $2,000 in the first 6 months. And that's on getting him fixed, the microchip, the shots, the GPS collar, I mean everything. It was, yeah, quite expensive. And I paid $500 for him, so. But I wanted that breed, so I was like willing to pay the extra money for that breed, I wanted a tabby. I've had tabbies in the past and I've had good luck, So I kind of stuck with that. Stuck with what was familiar to me. But yeah, anyways, hopefully this video is helpful to somebody, and maybe I can keep at least one cat out of a shelter, and then this video was worth my time. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's it for this one. See you later.